The drama surrounding Jai Opetaia's rise through the cruiserweight division wasn't built on loud talk or manufactured hype. It was built inside gritty gyms, under harsh lights, and through the kind of performances that slowly forced the boxing world to pay attention. By the time he stepped into the ring against New Zealand's Nikolas Charalampous, there was already a growing belief around Australian boxing that Jai wasn't just another talented prospect. He was becoming something much more dangerous, a fighter with the composure of a veteran and the instincts of a finisher. Inside Sydney's Luna Park, the atmosphere carried that strange mix of excitement and tension that only boxing can create. Before a single punch was thrown, both fighters stood in opposite corners absorbing the pressure in their own way. The referee brought them together, gave the final instructions, and reminded them to protect themselves at all times. It was routine, but moments like that always feel heavier when an unbeaten fighter is trying to defend his reputation. Jai Opetaia walked in wearing white and gold trunks, calm and composed, almost emotionless. Across from him stood Nikolas Charalampous in black, trunks carrying the pride of New Zealand with him. There were supporters watching from back home, though even before the opening bell, there was joking chatter from commentary about how some of his friends were probably asleep or playing video games instead of watching. That light humor quickly disappeared once the fight began, because the pace Jai set immediately told everyone this wasn't going to be a relaxed night for Charalampous. From the opening exchanges, Opetaia looked like a fighter who already knew the ending of the story. He wasn't rushing recklessly. He wasn't swinging wildly to impress the crowd. Instead, he stalked forward with patience, measuring distance and testing reactions. His eyes never seemed rushed. Every step had purpose. Every feint looked calculated. Very early in the fight, Jai began attacking the body. It was subtle at first, almost like he was laying traps rather than trying to hurt his opponent immediately. He would touch downstairs with the left hand, then wait for Charalampous to react before bringing hooks over the top. It was intelligent pressure, the kind elite fighters use to slowly drain confidence out of opponents. Nikolas Charalampous wasn't intimidated immediately, though. He tried to stay active, moving around the ring and occasionally throwing looping shots in return. But there was already a visible difference in speed and athleticism. Jai moved like someone operating a level above. Even when Charalampous attempted to close distance, he often came in without throwing punches, leaving himself exposed to counters. That became one of the major stories of the fight. Every time Charalampous stepped in naked without setting up his offense, Jai punished him for it. Sometimes with straight left hands, sometimes with sharp hooks, sometimes just with positioning that made Charalampous miss badly and look off balance. The commentators noticed something interesting about Opetaia as the rounds progressed. There were moments where he almost looked relaxed to the point of boredom, drifting in and out of rhythm, before suddenly exploding with energy. It was like watching a switch flip inside him. One second he was patient and measured. The next he was launching combinations with violent intent. That unpredictability made him dangerous. Charalampous tried to survive by tying up on the inside and making the fight messy. He clinched often, jumped in awkwardly, and attempted to disrupt Jai's timing. To his credit, it worked in small moments. He wasn't being completely steamrolled. He was tough, durable, experienced enough to know how to spoil momentum. But the problem was that surviving and winning are two very different things. Round after round, Jai controlled the geography of the fight. He cut off the ring beautifully, stepping laterally instead of following directly behind his opponent. Whenever Charalampous circled away, Opetaia was already waiting. The pressure slowly became suffocating. What stood out most was Jai's composure. Young fighters sometimes get frustrated when opponents refuse to engage cleanly. They chase knockouts. They overcommit. Opetaia didn't. Even when he wasn't landing perfectly clean shots, he stayed disciplined. He kept touching the body, firing the jab, and forcing Charalampous backward. By the middle rounds, the damage was becoming visible. Blood appeared around Charalampous' nose, and his movement started slowing down. He was still standing in the center at times, but it looked more like fatigue than confidence. Meanwhile, Jai looked comfortable, almost loose, bouncing lightly on his feet as though he could fight another 10 rounds. The difference in energy levels was impossible to ignore. Commentary pointed out that Charalampous lacked the athleticism to truly match Jai's movement. and the fight increasingly felt like a skilled technician methodically breaking down a stubborn opponent. Opetaia wasn't simply throwing punches for entertainment. He was collecting information every second, watching reactions, looking for patterns. Then came the moment that changed the atmosphere entirely. Late in the fight, Jai uncorked a massive right hand that finally cracked through cleanly. The shot landed with terrifying force, instantly wobbling Charalampous. For the first time all night, his legs betrayed him. The crowd reacted immediately as he stumbled and went down awkwardly. It wasn't a clean knockdown from a single devastating punch alone. There was some debate about balance and positioning, but nobody in the building doubted who was in control now. The shot had shaken Charalampous badly, and suddenly, the calm patience Jai had shown earlier transformed into predatory aggression. He moved forward with urgency, sensing the finish might finally be there. Yet even in that moment, he remained surprisingly composed. That's what made the sequence so impressive. He wasn't reckless. He wasn't throwing himself out of position, chasing a highlight reel knockout. He was still calculating, still trying to find the cleanest opening. Charalampous, to his credit, showed heart. Instead of backing away completely, he attempted to fight back. Maybe pride forced him forward, maybe instinct. Either way, it was dangerous. Jai's shots were carrying more authority now, and every exchange looked like it could end the fight instantly. Still, the New Zealander refused to collapse. That toughness earned respect from everyone watching. Even while losing clearly on the scorecards, Charalampous kept trying to answer back in small moments. He landed the occasional inside shot. He attempted counters. He kept moving despite the punishment accumulating against him, but Opetaia's control never disappeared. As the fight entered its later stages, commentary described it perfectly. Jai was cruising toward a dominant points victory, but he wanted more than that. You could feel it in the way he stalked forward. He wanted a statement finish. He wanted punctuation on the performance. The problem was that Charalampous simply refused to give him the perfect opening. Every time Jai appeared ready to unload, Charalampous would clinch, lean awkwardly, or throw something messy back. It disrupted rhythm just enough to keep the fight alive. For some fighters, that kind of resistance becomes mentally exhausting. Jai handled it with maturity beyond his years. He continued cutting off the ring, continued firing sharp body shots, continued landing clean left hands down the pipe. And even though the knockout never fully materialized, the dominance remained obvious. By the championship rounds, the fight had developed an almost inevitable feeling. Charalampous needed a knockout to have any chance, but there was little evidence. He possessed the power or energy left to produce one. Jai, meanwhile, looked physically fresh, still bouncing lightly, still controlling distance, still dictating tempo. The crowd sensed the shutout victory coming. There were flashes of desperation from Charalampous late. A few wild swings, some attempts to force exchanges, but Opetaia's defense held firm. He slipped shots, blocked others on the gloves, and answered back whenever necessary. Even under pressure, he never looked rattled. That's what made the performance impressive beyond just the punches. Anyone can look dangerous when they're steamrolling helpless opposition. What separates elite prospects from ordinary fighters is composure under imperfect circumstances. Charalampous made the fight awkward at times, ugly at times, frustrating at times. Jai never lost control emotionally or tactically. That's a sign.